Only minor incidents reported during voting in Nepal for a new parliament. Counting now underway in the first general election since deadly protests toppled the government of then Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli last September. And Neha Poonia, she joins us from Kathmandu, covering the election for CNA. Neha, vote counting, as you mentioned, starting. When can we expect results?
That's right. Polls have closed, Vesu, on what's been dubbed by many as a historic election day, coming as it does 6 months after those deadly Gen Z protests. Voter turnout is expected to be about 65%, according to poll officials. We'll get a proper sense of numbers only on Friday, but they're saying that there's been, record turnout at most polling booths across the country. And the reason why that's important is because that'll tell us whether or not the 800,000 first-time voters that were enrolled, that were eligible to cast their ballots in this election actually showed up, and in what numbers. Also, about 50% of the 19 million eligible voters in the country are under the age of 40, which is a key election demographic that parties have targeted. How many of them actually turned up to cast their ballots, and whether or not they voted, keeping in mind the issues that led to those protests, is what we'll find out when the final turnout numbers are out. On the results, we're going to see counting overnight, well into Friday. The election body is saying that the results for the 165 seats for the first past the post system will be out in 24 hours. So by 5 p.m. local time on Friday, we should have a sense of which party has won the popular vote. But for the proportional representation seats, about 110 of them, we'll have to wait 2 to 3 days. It could even take longer, as it has in previous elections. Poll officials saying they're hoping to stick to that deadline. But, this is a mountainous country, and it sometimes does take time to get the ballot boxes from remote regions to city centers to Kathmandu to count them. So depending on those timelines, we should have a sense of who's actually won this election and by what mandate by early next week.
Neha, the Prime Minister and his government ousted 6 months ago in uprisings. The gentleman is running again, contending for Prime Minister. Is there a sense amongst voters that issues that started that uprising, they have not, in fact, been laid to rest?
Very much so. When we've been speaking to voters through the day, the young have been telling us particularly that corruption is a very big issue. That's the top issue that was front of their minds when they were voting. They've also spoken about issues like unemployment. Nepal has a high unemployment rate of just over 20%. Millions of Nepali citizens work abroad, many leaving the country because they say wages here are very low. So voters saying they want these issues fixed, and they very much associate these issues with the old guard in politics. They're saying they want to see change. That's a word that we heard a lot on polling day. Voters saying they want to see new faces, new voices. They want to see a seismic shift in how Nepali politics, is conducted. But KP Sharma Oli very much still maintaining that the protests were not a referendum on his term, and he's confident that he could potentially win a 5th term in power. But most voters say, they'll have to wait and see before they can say which party has won the popular vote.
Oh, thanks. Neha Poonia covering the story for CNA Live from Kathmandu, those elections in Nepal.